My name is Sylvanus Farber, that's Farber, and I am appealing for help in regard to what I believe to be a my breakthrough research into time travel. Let me explain it, and if you don't mind, I'd like to read this. I have a prepared statement here. It would be easier for me to keep on track without digressing as I want. For several years now, I have been involved in research into the possibility of time travel, and I have discovered that time travel is indeed possible, but not in the way that you would expect or that you've seen in stories and movies. But it's not the transfer of a person through time, but information through time. So, how can this occur? I'm sure you're wondering. Well, let me explain as briefly as I can. My experiments have shown that on the subatomic level, that time can move forward or backward. Particles known as B mesons actually can somersault between two temporal directions, the future and the past. I have developed a mechanism that taps into this channel, the B channel, if you will, and therefore it opens the flow or the potential flow of information. The one catch is that the information can be exchanged only through existing technologies. For example, if I wanted to send a message to, say, ancient Rome, I couldn't do it because there'd be no way for them to receive that message. And in fact, as far as I know, there'd be no way to send a message from the future any farther back than the moment I install the B channel into my iMac. So, to test the system, I set up a blind Facebook page as the receiving agent. Now you may say, well, why Facebook? Well, I believe that Facebook is going to be with us for many years to come, and so to me it seemed to be the logical vehicle to be the receiving agent to receive information from the future. Once I set it up, I didn't have long to wait, 45 days to be precise, before I received the first message. Okay, all right. What was the nature of this message that I received? Well, the first part consisted only of geographical coordinates. 9 degrees, 4 minutes, north latitude, 7 degrees, 29 minutes, east longitude. I checked this immediately, of course. I will not disclose the location here, except to say that it is on another continent. Next, I replied to the post by confirming the location, and thus the lines of communication were opened. What I'm going to do now is I'll summarize the content of the subsequent postings, which occurred over several days. Now, the transmission originated in the year 2061. The writer, let's call him Mr. B, is an employee of an oil corporation, and he was appealing to me for urgent assistance in stopping criminal activity that threatened not only the company but U.S. Energy interests. Apparently, this is still a concern. In short, what he needed was what he wanted to do was to transfer $44.7 million from his country to an account in the United States. And if I could facilitate this for him, I would receive 25% of the money. Now, I have to tell you, I didn't think that a transfer of funds was really possible through the B channel, but he put my skepticism to rest. He said that I had no idea how successful the B channel had become in the future, and that he would guide me through the process of doing this. All right, and here was the clincher for me. He said that the money I would receive from this venture, roughly $11 million, is precisely what will lead to the astonishing future success of the B channel. So the first step on my end was to make a deposit of $10,000 into another bank account which had been opened for other purposes in the U.S. in the present day by Mr. B's father. The account, as it turns out, this is still active in the year 2061, so Mr. B would be able to access those funds by the more conventional means if he so desired. Okay, so far so good. But then however, we had a setback. Apparently, officials with his corporation became suspicious of his activities, and this caused us has caused us a delay. Now, I was able to assist to some degree by depositing an additional $15,000 into his account to cover legal fees and nuisance expenses. The total expenditure has left my research fund balance at nearly zero, and I have to say I've not heard from Mr. B for 3 weeks or so, and so yes, I am concerned about it. I'm concerned. I'm worried that for him personally, that something has gone awry due to the internal investigation of Mr. B. My fears have grown more intense in recent days because I went to check on the status of the account here in our time and found that when I called, the bank would not disclose any information to me about it except to say that the account had been closed. Now, I know, this is disturbing to me, but I know in my heart that what has happened here is that Mr. B has taken this as close. The closure is due to some security precaution that he has taken, and this is not a cause for concern. And to tell you the truth, I'm really heartened by, when I think of it this way, this is what sustains me. It's the paradox, the immutable time paradox. In other words, it was created by my communication with the future. That is, the B channel could not exist in its future form unless I do receive the $11 million in development funds that he has promised me, and I know it's coming. So my help from you is just feedback. Am I missing something? So any suggestions you have are welcome.